While I'm trying to find these mushrooms, I had a couple people ask me recently in regards to, hey, so I'm looking at getting into some reaction content, Kip. You seem to be doing this a little bit, just a little bit. You know, what are your thoughts and opinions on this? You know, is it worth getting into? Is the struggle ultimately worth it? And I thought I'd put together a little bit of a piece while I'm hunting for some mushrooms to kind of put my thoughts out there, if you will. So, React content as a whole, and you do need to go into doing this, right? If you plan on getting into React content or trying it out, you have to understand that at the end of the day, it is going to be a very divisive thing regardless of what you do. There are going to be people that cry for ethics. I know, for example, there have been people like Josh Drive Hayes that have tried, at length when React content was kind of a big thing. A certain 14-page document was floating around that, it's like, yeah, we need to be more ethical about this, and I 100% agree with it. However, at the end of the day, even if you're ethical about it, you are still, for all intents and purposes, working with someone else's content. And there's a few philosophies that actually go into this. So on one hand, yes, you are working with someone else's content, right? Someone else made a work, right? So say, I don't know, we look at someone like the Russian Badger or Martin Pants, right? Who spend so much time to make their work, right? They spend so much time, so much effort that, it just takes them a while to make it. It's easy in comparison for you to kind of sit there, especially to react to its entirety without any further edits, right? Very easy in comparison. Now, some people are more transformative than others, some people are less transformative than others, right? And it really just comes down to what you plan on doing, per se, what you plan on doing specifically. And even then, you can be as ethical as possible, and you can still run afoul of people's expectations. I myself have on a number of occasions, and I pointed out just for the sheer, I guess, hilarity is the word I'm going to go for. And a lot of people don't like what I do because I pause way too much, which is, in my opinion, it is a valid criticism. It is a criticism at the end of the day. Some people can absolutely be, sniffing some paint thinner, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, there have absolutely been videos I've done in which where I've paused too much, and that's a valid criticism. The way React content and the style that I try to do it is that it's more like a conversation, if you will, right? So if we're going to have a back and forth right now, I were to go, chat member, how's your day going, right? To which you would respond, oh, day is, no, my day's going pretty good. Or in the case of a legendary Albertsons worker that my friend experienced, life is a never-ending, what was something along the lines of, life is a never-ending loop of torment and pain, right? Just straight-out response, right? But at the end of the day, I put something forward. You respond in kind, to which prompts a response to me, oh, well, hey, I'm sorry that your day isn't going so well. Or, hey, I'm glad that your day is going well. I hope it keeps up for you, right? And you can have that back and forth. So how this works in practice with React content that I do, actually, is something along the lines, say, like the Fat Electrician, right? Where if I, he's talking about a bit, and he's, talking about, don't touch America's boats, right? And he talks about, not touching America's boats, which a lot of people seem to want to do. Don't do it. Don't touch our boats. And, do I necessarily, he says, so he talks about, an event preceding this, right? And then he starts saying, don't touch America's boats. Do I pause during the explanation? Do I cut him off? No. I mean, it's just conversation etiquette, being cognizant of what the other person's saying. There is a balancing act between too much and too little, in my opinion. Because at the end of the day, right, if I were to react to something, say, I don't know, Patrician TV's 7-hour Morrowind video, right? Which I would absolutely love to do at some point. At the end of the day, who's going to watch a 21-hour commentary? And absolutely, I'm sure there's people that would watch it, but is it necessarily worth most people's times, right? Is it worth worth spending almost a full day of hours into a single video, even if you cut it up, right? One of those things that that's a subjective answer. Different strokes for different folks. Certain people are into it. Inherently, regardless of however transformative you are, you will always run into issues in regards to it being a divisive form of media. You are using something from somebody else, and you are uploading it, even monetizing it, right? And that's where it gets into. I was explaining this to my dad, right? And he's like, well, What do you mean? What do you mean that it's on YouTube, right? It's on the internet. It's publicly accessible. Yes and no, right? I mean, once again, a little bit of a subjective answer, right? People like CoffeeZilla, awesome individuals, right, have noted that they don't, don't make market replacements, don't do full reactions to this, right? You can clip it up, absolutely, right? But it creates a market replacement. And what people mean by market replacement is that it can potentially even be favored in the algorithm over the original work. And I think that there was a Maxwell video that had this effect by, I think it was Asmongold reaction. I don't remember specifically. So the way that I understand YouTube, and I absolutely recommend anyone chime in to kind of correct me on this, is that if the longer a video is, the ads that be, right, advertisers will want to put more ads on that, right? So let's say Maxwell made a 20-minute video, but there was a reaction that was 22, 23, 25 minutes, right? So not really super transformative. I mean, we're starting to get to that transformative bit, right? But I think we could argue, I mean, you could go easily 27, 28, 30, right? That kind of thing. It is possible that if the video gets enough traction that it could be favored in the algorithm over the actual video. And to which, I mean, in my own work, I always try to make sure that people know where the original video is, who the original uploader is, how they can go support the original uploader, right? Because at the end of the day, I mean, it's very easy for me to sit there. It's very easy for me to sit there, to critique videos, to watch them, to laugh at them. It's not easy, as we've discussed, to necessarily make a video, especially a banger like, Russian Badger and Maxor can, right? It takes time, it takes effort, and it could also not succeed. It could fall flat in the algorithm, right? As many things unfortunately do. So being a divisive form of media isn't necessarily bad. Understand it is going to be an uphill battle with a lot of people, right? You're having to, for all intents and purposes, fight against the current from people that want reactions, lazy reactions, who just want to be babysat, right? There is the mentality, in my opinion, where people just want to be babysat. It's that, and I don't mean this from a negative way, right? Parasocialism's fine. Parasocialism up until being weird about it, right, is fine, right? So it would be one thing, using an example, right? It being weirdly parasocial is like somebody is like, well, Kip is my streamer. Kip is the only, why he's not doing what I want. Okay, what? like I'm talking like weirdly obsessive, that kind of thing, right? Like just there's something else going on as an underlying issue, right? Being parasocial, and there's a number of people that have commented on this, and I appreciate the comments on this, right? Where people are like, well, no, Kip, I love you. You're a good streamer. It feels like just watching a video with a buddy, right? That's parasocialism, absolutely, in my opinion. It's opinion and parasocialism. But neither of those are bad. In fact, I take those as a positive, right? I like that I can be a comfort streamer to a lot of people. I'm in the same kind of role for some people that Vinny Vinesauce was many years ago for me when I was going through some life stuff, right? Great streamer, by the way. Definitely check out Vinny Vinesauce. Love that man. I adore him. And there is that parasocial element to it, and you can even play into that, right? So let's say you want to be do reaction content, right? Let's say you want to be this waifu, VTuber, or you want to be this really cool dude, like, hey, bro, let's go chill. Like you're like the skater boy, like 2000 skater boy of React content, right? You can absolutely do that. Understand that even regardless of how ethically you come at it, regardless of how positive you come at it, there will always be critics. But I mean, that can be said about YouTube in general. In regards to copyright and fair use, look, at the end of the day, you are working with someone else's content, right? We've gone over this a number of times. Some things I will absolutely look at and go, I don't know about that, Captain. But other things I will look at, go, no, that's incredibly fair, right? So if I have a third party from South America claiming a Jello Apocalypse reaction, right? Yeah, probably going to look and say, I need to see some sources for that, Captain. Come on now, right? But if I had, say, I don't know, someone on behalf of Jello Apocalypse or even a collecting agency, that's one of those that I go, okay, but one, is this valid? Because if this is valid, even then, I always, a creator is more than happy to email me, to message me. Just please don't shotgun the copyright claim, even, as valid as it can be in a lot of cases where, yeah, I mean, you have legal right to this content. And absolutely, if I was a creator and I was just going to blow you off, right? Well, hey, Kip, you're using my content. Can you not use it? And I just blew you off, right? Yeah, in my opinion, I'm going to eat that copyright claim. I think that that's incredibly fair to eat that claim, right? But, I mean, be open to that. And even then, not everyone will be open to that, hence the situation recently where I just got shotgunned a copyright strike. You are working with other people's content. Do you necessarily have to agree with everything they say? Do you necessarily have to straddle that disco stick, if you will? No, absolutely not. I mean, there's things that Shoe on Head says that, I've, like, not that I've taken issue with, but I've disagreed with, right? And there's things that that I'm sure I've said that Shoehead has disagreed with, right? There's things that I'm sure that Fat Electrician has disagreed. That gets into this weird like tiff. What I'm trying to say is you don't necessarily have to agree with the creator on everything. You don't have to straddle that pole, right? But you have to at least be respectful, right? So, you know, for example, Shoehead says something, right, about male loneliness. Hey, you come across as an incredibly, you know, educated individual on the subject, and it feels like you're actually trying to do something on the subject, right? Trying to draw awareness to it, say this is an issue. No, you have my respect and support on this, 100%, right? Fat Electrician, trying to be that cool teacher that a lot of us wish we had, right? Cool. Hell yeah, bro. I'm 100% for that. Hell yeah. Being respectful it goes hand in hand with being transformative, right? I used to watch React content, and I watched a couple channels, none of which I'll say right now. But I was looked at this, and but you could be commenting on this. There's so much you could comment on, right? Like, comment on the ad read. Was the ad read a 10 out of 10? Was there something wrong with the ad read? Did the ad read have audio that was desynced? Did it have a different audio entirely? Was the ad read entirely too short, too long, right? There's so many things to comment on, and it all comes back to that balancing act from earlier, right? So if you're looking at getting into the React content sphere, one of the biggest things you have to understand is that it is incredibly controversial. At the end of the day, there's even a 14-page manifesto out there outlining why React content creators are akin to people that commit very heinous acts, right? A lot of people don't like us. We're also a very niche sphere, in my opinion, right? I think that if a React video ever goes over the original video, I personally, subjectively view it as an abject failure, right? I should never be able to react to a video and ever get more views than the original video. If anything, I use it as a disservice. I want to use my platform as a platform that, you know, I can honestly get to the point where I don't have to worry about, you know, money. I don't have to worry about the metrics. I don't have to worry about the views. Something that it's like, yeah, no, I can get 10K views in any video that I do. And then I can use it to help support some smaller content creators, right? But I have to work up until that point. I have to work up to the several 100,000 subscribers to be able to do that, right? Which is incredibly fair as an expectation. So understand, unless you're bringing something banger to the table, unless you're bringing something that's like, you know, completely unique to React content or completely unique to the situation, such as opera singer reacts to Ave Maria, right? Musician reacts to Halo 3 Never Forget, right? Unless you have some sort of, like, why should someone watch your reaction? And that's the end-all be-all question. Why should someone watch you? And you can take that as React content, you can take that as YouTube, right? Why should someone watch you? As soon as you can answer that question, I feel you're in a better headspace, better than, you know, in a better situation than a lot of other YouTubers and streamers, right? No, I don't actually know why people watch me. I feel like I've pretty much showcased myself as an idiot. That's not a down, it's not a, like, you know, downer on myself, right? That's not me trying to, like, you know, oh well, no. I actually don't get it. For all intents and purposes, I feel like I'm an idiot, which in some cases I am. But I mean, I would be disingenuous for saying that people are not allowed to want that, right? At the end of the day, you watch what you want to watch, and if for some reason you want to watch, you know, the reactions that I do, some of the content that I put out, dude, go for it. I love you. I respect you, 100%, right? Just things to think about. And I view that React content can also be seen as a way to work with creators, right? Where if I had someone that I reacted to in the past, right? So anybody, right? And they're like, hey, let's do a bit. Let's react to this together. Let's have a conversation. Let's do something, right? Yeah, let's do it. I'm game, 100%. Let's have a discussion. Let's have a comment. That should never be the expectation, though, right? Because at that point, I think that gets into clout chasing. The reason I don't really put myself out there anymore is because I don't want to be seen as clout chasing. Because at the end of the day, I respect a lot of creators, but there is a problem, which I've experienced myself, where I've had people that'll try to interact with me strictly because they want nothing more than to, you know, stream with me to get a little bit of a boost, you know, things like that. And, you know, I don't know. I view that kind of like a destiny thing. Absolutely. You know, if you are somebody that I know, if you're somebody that I've dealt with, absolutely, let's have at it. Let's run Crota's End. I don't fucking care. Let's go, right? But if it's new, it's like, look, I don't know your intentions. Everyone has the ability to be on guard. Everyone has the ability to be a little paranoid, right? To protect their brand. Because you don't know if somebody's just going to pop on stream and they're just going to spout some kind of racial slur, right? Look, I came from Xbox. That was a very real concern when getting into lobbies, okay? I miss Xbox 360 lobbies. Goddamn, though. Some heinous shit was said in there. But that's the kind of, you know, just that's a more a protection kind of thing. Working with other people's content, there's not, unfortunately, really any sort of fix to it, right? There's not really anything that can fix that. At the end of the day, I mean, it's going to be subjective. You're going to have people that are going to want to not be, not have reactions done to them. There are going to be people that say, nah, go for it. You just don't know. And that's half the thing, right? Yes, you can ask. Absolutely. You can email creators. The reason that I stopped doing it is because I would get, I'd send out like 20 and I'd get maybe 2 or 3 back, right? And, I get it. There's people that are much larger than me. They have time that they have to work. They're busy, right? And that's incredibly fair. Sometimes asking is the best medicine to solve the issue, but sometimes it doesn't solve the issue. Like sometimes you're unable to do that. And then what do? You have this decision paralysis of you're wanting to be ethical, you're wanting to try your best, but if you can't do it, do you do something despite it becomes a cost benefit risk analysis situation. So, I mean, in regards to advice on starting, pick something that you think is neat. I think part of my issue is that I have overvariance on stuff that I do. Like I like Rona gaming videos. I like Legal Eagle videos. I like a crap ton of creators, right? But I don't really have a defining through line, in my opinion. I kind of try to use my personality, what personality I do have, to kind of signal boost. And you can absolutely be someone that builds up on a personality, right? Absolutely. That is 100% an option that you can do. However, I think you run into different issues where, say if you're a League of Legends creator, right? Say if you're a League of Legends VTuber and you want to try Dead Space, right? You're probably going to see your views tank, right, for a little bit, right? If you get the same views at all, because now people know you for League of Legends, right? So it's the inverse problem where they are super hyper specialized, and if you don't give them what they want, viewers what they want, I mean, you can run into issues, right? It's all about understanding what you want to do, understanding the risks associated with React content, being respectful and cognizant about what you're reacting to. I would argue fostering a goodwill, not necessarily because you don't want to get copyrighted, right? But fostering a goodwill with other people because you are working with their work. And when it comes to copyright, I mean, I legally can't advise anyone on that. Like that's one of those that you have to consult with a legal professional. Like I cannot advise you on that, even if it's just something as simple as a copyright claim, right? Where I could hypothetically say something along the lines of, well, if it's a South American company, you don't think they have rights to it. Look, I don't even feel confident advising you on that, right? Even if they have allegedly and potentially no claim on the subject, right? If you don't know, I have to advise you speak to some sort of legal professional. Seek some sort of legal counsel, because at the end of the day, copyright claims, copyright strikes, takedowns and stuff, those are legal action you are receiving, right? And this works beyond React content as well with any other channel. Say you use something like Ozzy Osbourne Crazy Train, right? You end up receiving a copyright strike or takedown notice, right? Look, you're dealing with legal at that point, regardless if it's fair use or not. I in practice generally do. If I think it's bogus, I try to fight it up to a certain point. But if I think it's incredibly fair, like the Sabaton one, right? Sabaton history, I just let it go through. It's like, whatever. No, I thank you for not copyright claiming me into oblivion. I do appreciate you for showing some restraint on that, right? And that can all be subjective. That can all be different life experience. That can all be different specialty expertise, all that fun stuff. And at the end of the day, I would argue, have fun, right? If you want to go into reacting to stuff, have fun with it, or at the very least, have a reason to do it, right? I do a lot of reactions the way that I do because I get to learn something, or there's something that I can gain out of it. There's some knowledge that I can gain. There's some laughter and enjoyment that I can gain out of it, right? And I can even try to push a creator, that I've never reacted to before, but people may not have seen before. And that's why I want to do it. I want to be more positively geared. Versus some people that, absolutely they can react to the biggest, greatest drama, to which I've done on occasion, right? I mean, that if I said I didn't, I would be an absolute hypocrite, right? And just go for it, right? Like, have your understanding, and I would argue be consistent, right? I do 2 to 3 videos a day. 3 is one of those that kind of taxes me a little bit, but I mean, I like the metrics where it's at because I'm still trying to get to a point where I can get 10K views a video, right? But be consistent. I would argue React content, rather than being lightning in a bottle, as it can be. If you look at some of the most popular videos on this channel, I would argue that's lightning in a bottle. It's one of those, I think consistency pays off, and I think it makes what I do possible. And then I'm really ecstatic when people actually see a video and they're excited about it, because it gets them, it gets me excited, it gets me wanting to try new things, gets me wanting to try other things by a creator, especially if it's a new creator I haven't seen before. just things to think about. Things that I wanted to kind of, not necessarily advise you on, but things to get your brain juices flowing, right? React content is one of those. It is a saturated sphere as well, so it's going to be hyper competitive. As long as you understand that it's a divisive sphere, as long as you understand that it's hyper competitive, as long as you understand that success isn't guaranteed, even if you react to, a several million view video, right? As long as you can understand those things, at the end of the day, you can just pick up your OBS, try it, see how it works, and if you have to do something and try it out and it doesn't work, right, and you have to start over again from scratch. I've had to do several reactions over. I've had to do them because I've either lost the VOD or something like that. I give enough time where I actually forget what the video is about. But yeah, these are some insights that I would like to just impress upon those who are curious about React content. Some warnings, if you will, in regards to legality, in regards to ethics, in regards to even if you're being the most ethical creator out there, that's not necessarily what people want, and metrics will showcase that, in my opinion. So definitely not a light decision, especially if you're wanting to try. Even then, you can even potentially try it, say, "Nah, this isn't for me," and then stop. Right? You absolutely have that ability. The ball is within your court. I just ask that if somebody does want to, if they do want to be. If they do want to get into React content, I ask that you please be respectful to the original creators, right? They spend a lot of time and a lot of effort into doing some of the things that they do, and I would hate to ever be in any way, shape, or form a part of enabling people to think that they can just take other people's content and re-upload it without their consent, making market replacements, market substitutes, being incredibly untransformative, right? Like, just be legit about it. If you don't know what that means, if you don't know what that looks like, maybe maybe think about it for a little bit, right? Maybe think about what being legit would be, and then design your own definition to it and see if it works or not. And at the end of the day, also ask others around you, right? In the comment section of this video, I absolutely recommend anybody, right? Anybody, if you have any sort of insight, any sort of critiques, criticisms, advice, anything for people that are looking at not only getting to React content, but YouTube as well, I absolutely recommend that you leave it in the description down below. I know that I do my reactions over on Twitch because it works with my schedule a little bit better. I'm able to kill two birds with one stone, get some Twitch time in, get some streaming time in, along with making some React videos, right? But at the end of the day, I've only seen an influx of Twitch people since I've done YouTube, right? So just things to consider, things to think about, and yeah, let me know what you thought in the comments section down below. I know it was a little odd, rambly one, but thank you for watching.